The Mavericks get some help back as they welcome an old friend in Quentin Grimes back with the Philadelphia 76ers. We'll get you ready for today's game. Coming up next on the Dallas Mavs pregame show. Hey, what's up, Dlls Mavs Nation? It's your man, Kevin Gray, alongside Mavericks analyst Bobby Carella. We are Dlls Mavs, your favorite guys covering your favorite team every single game day, even when they play at high noon on a Sunday afternoon. We appreciate you joining us here on DLLS Sports. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe while you are here, as well as the Mavericks get ready for game number 69 on the season as they take on the Philadelphia 76ers at high noon today. Tip-off at 12 p.m. You can watch the game on KFAA Channel 29 as your Mavericks at 33-35, 19-15 at home take on a Philadelphia 76ers team at 22-44, 10-22 away from Philly so far this year. But your Mavericks are a 6.5-point favorite today with the over-under at 224.5. Welcoming back our guy Bobby Carella, who had the night off the other night after the Mavericks got pummeled by the Houston Rockets. Welcome back on this gorgeous Sunday morning here today.
So normally, I'm trying to think, I've only missed a few games this year. The last couple games that I missed, they won, and then I came back and things immediately got horrible. So I was hoping that by me leaving, missing one game, maybe the Mavs would win, maybe everything would be fine, and then lo and behold, Dante Exum is now out for the rest of the season with the broken hand. So that's awesome.
That's right.
That one is on me.
Oh, you gonna take the blame for that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you taking accountability, unlike other folk. Never mind. I'll leave that where it is. Let's get to today's game.
More on that tomorrow.
Yeah, more on that tomorrow for sure. We have a special guest going to be joining us for the entire hour of our show tomorrow. We'll let you know who that is during the post-game show. But today, gentlemen, we are experiencing the season from hell game of the year between the Mavericks and the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's get you primed for where these two teams coming into today are. The Mavericks, of course, 10th in the Western Conference, sitting 6.5 games behind the Golden State Warriors for the 6th seed in the West. But now we're just a game and a half up on the Phoenix Suns, who are on the road today against the Los Angeles Lakers for the final play-in spot in the Western Conference. Dallas, of course, losing 2 straight coming into today and losing 9 of 11 overall after previously winning 3 straight games. They are 10-10 against the Eastern Conference so far this year and 20-10 against teams at 500 or below. Dallas still plays 2 of their next 3 games at the American Airlines Center as they will play on Wednesday against the Pacers on the road, but before turning home on Friday to take on the Fighting Tim Hardaways of Detroit and the Pistons when they come to town on Friday. Sixers, kind of hard to find a team that's been going through it that much worse than the Mavericks, but the Sixers are up there qualifying for the number 1 spot. They are 12th in the Eastern Conference, sitting 5.5 games behind the Chicago Bulls for the final play-in spot in the Eastern Conference. They've lost 3 straight. They're 2-8 in their last 10. And check this out, Bobby. The Sixers have lost 17 of their last 20 games coming into today since January 31st. They are just 8-16 against the West and 15-16 against teams 500 or below so far this year. They began a 6-game road trip today in Dallas as they play 10 of their next 12 games on the road, and they're on the first night of a back-to-back. They'll be in Houston tomorrow night to take on the Rockets on the road. Both of these teams, Bobby, just dealing with unexpected seasons for them, and they get together today on this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, like you said, Philly 3-17 in their last 20 games. One of those wins was against the Mavs.
That's right.
And I believe that was Embiid's first game back after a long injury, and then he played like 1 or 2 more games and was done for the year.
It was
after
done.
That.
That's right.
So kind of a fly-by-night thing with Embiid, kind of like how De'Aaron Fox the other night had a great game. The Spurs won, and now he's out for the year too. So I guess if you have a good game against the Mavs, it's actually kind of a kiss of death or something. But yeah, Philly ranks very high on the going through itness scale. This road trip for them 6-gamer, like you said. Here is the travel. Dallas, Houston, and I'm kind of doing it geographically, right? So Dallas, Houston, OKC, San Antonio, Atlanta, and then New Orleans. Like, all of these cities are pretty close together, but they're taking like the most circuitous route through all of them.
That's right.
So I think that's kind of a bit. It is also a lot of back-to-backs too, and so this is probably around the time that the Sixers are definitely going to pack it in for real, and they seem to be doing that right now. Reports are already leaking that Paul George might not be there after this season. What a disaster that was. Who knows what Embiid's future holds? And they have a lot of questions to answer. Daryl Morey says that AI is going to help him through it, so we'll see about that.
He did say that the other day, didn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, all Mavs fans' eyes are going to be on Quentin Grimes.
That's right.
Today, he's obviously a very popular player on this podcast. We were singing his praises before the year, during the year. Whenever he would get benched after bad games, we were saying, "Hold the line." Like, we still believe.
It's a good song.
Yeah, and now I mean he's putting up huge numbers, but
love is always on time.
We should just turn this into a karaoke podcast, I think. But
I love that song. I'm not gonna lie to you, I really love that song.
But he's getting a lot more opportunities in Philly than he did in Dallas.
That's
and
right.
part of that is because they are just tanking, or they're resting their stars, or they're going through a youth movement. Granted, he would be probably receiving a lot of those opportunities right now. Max Christie is sort of the fill-in. Obviously, those two moves might have been connected, acquiring Christie and then trading Grimes. Who knows? Those are questions that maybe Tim and Mark Stein can answer in the summer. But this is the Quentin Grimes bowl for the leftover believers.
It is, and that's our lead story coming into today. As I mentioned, the season from hell game of the year between these two teams. Both teams have had absolutely dismal seasons between the Mavericks and the Philadelphia 76ers. Seasons ravaged by injuries, inconsistency. Of course, as Bobby mentioned, Quentin Grimes was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers in exchange for Caleb Martin. Check this out. Caleb Martin has played a total of 5 games with the Dallas Mavericks. Quentin Grimes has scored at least 25 points 6 times with the Philadelphia 76ers. And, oh, by the way, has scored at least 34 times, including what was a career-high 44 points in a win back on March the 1st over the Golden State Warriors. Quentin Grimes overall averaging over 19 points per game in the 15 games that he's played so far with the Philadelphia 76ers. Jason Kidd describing what this season has been from an expectations standpoint versus the reality of where the Mavericks are as he spoke with the media prior to today's game. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, it's, part of the sport. Injuries take place, but you have to continue to just keep pushing forward. It happens. I can't speak for the Sixers, but for us, it's, understanding that expectations are part of it, but being able to continue to push forward, to play hard, 2 things that we can control, our energy and effort, and that's what this group is doing.
And they will need that energy and effort today, Bobby, as they get the return, and someone will focus in a little bit more on later on in the show, and a guy in P.J. Washington who has missed the last 6 games with the right ankle sprain. He will be back to lead the charge for the Mavericks on both the offensive and defensive ends today. Meanwhile, for the Philadelphia 76ers, you're going to see a lot of guys that you never heard of in today's game, given what they've got going on.
10 guys out, dude.
Yeah, they're injured. There's only one injury
report.
They
got guys out that I've never heard of.
Exactly, that's true. Guys that you know very well of that won't be playing today. They're the only injury report I've seen longer than the Mavericks so far in the recent days and weeks. But they're going to be led by a gentleman by the name of Jeff Downton Jr. You ever heard of that guy?
Yes.
Okay.
You just said it. You just said him.
Oh, okay. Just now. Got it. We're introducing Bobby to Jeff Downton Jr., who in his last 3 games averaging over 20 points per game for Philadelphia. You have heard of Gurishan Yabusele, though. I know you've heard. Yeah, we've heard of him.
Yeah, that's a former Mavs legend.
That's right. That's right. And a guy who reintroduced himself to the world stage when he dunked on LeBron James in the Olympics this past summer, if you remember that during the.
Did not watch the Olympics.
Oh, you didn't watch any of the Olympics?
Not
any
the
of the
basketball?
basketball?
No. I saw the Curry highlights, but yeah, I didn't watch it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Basketball watcher didn't watch.
I know. I forget what happened, but there was something going on.
Oh, okay. There was something going on.
Yeah, I was busy.
Got it. See, Ardell says, damn you, KG. Now I got that Toto song stuck in my head. It's a great song.
Is that a Toto song?
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
Wow.
It's
okay.
an incredible song.
I thought they only did Africa.
Oh, no. That's one of their.
They have a vast collection.
They do.
All right.
There you go. That's right.
Africa's a banger, dude. I'm not going to lie. It's
yeah,
great
exactly. But Yabusele in 61 games, you're averaging 10.4 points per game and 5.6 rebounds per contest for Philadelphia. The Mavericks led by Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson averaging over 17 points per game, shooting 40.7% from three as far as the last 10 games that he is concerned, playing nearly 30 minutes tonight. Najee Marshall, his first game against the 76ers, had 19 points, had 5 assists, and 3 steals in that game. His last 10, though, averaging over 18 points per game, 7 rebounds per contest, and 4.2 assists per game as well. 76ers, not a good team overall when you start looking at the statistical profile of Philadelphia coming into today. 21st in offensive rating, 5th worst in defensive rating, 5th worst in points per game, 9th worst in field goal percentage, 4th worst in three-point percentage. And, oh, by the way, they're last in the NBA in rebounds per game as well so far this year. Not a good team. It's not a good team overall at all.
Yeah, Embiid obviously is like a Goliath, but he's missed a ton of the year. And, they have Andre Drummond to back him up, but he's out too. And we saw this with the Mavs, KG, like in the ancient times whenever they had a center. We remember those days. Like it seems like it was long ago, but they would have one Daniel Gafford or one Derek Lively out there. But even if you have the one big man, that one big man can't contest shots and switch and get rebounds. Like rebounding is a 5-man effort, but the Sixers built a team where guys like Tyrese Maxey and Paul George, who are not, famed for their rebounding ability, are also playing with like Eric Gordon, who's very small, and Kelly Oubre, who's not really going to get in there and mix it up all the time. And like a bunch of guys that are either smaller or slender or both that aren't able to jockey for a position. So, I was never really that big of a believer in the Sixers. Obviously, their season's gone way worse than even I expected. But I was pretty confident in hedging them. Granted, if they stayed healthy, I feel like that starting 5 is really dangerous in a playoff series.
Sure.
But you have to get through the regular season to get to the playoffs. Mavs fans learned that lesson the hard way this year too.
By the way, Charles Saturday is very disappointed in you for not watching the Olympic basketball.
I'm sorry.
tournament.
I don't remember exactly what I was doing. I know that I was transitioning from my last job to this one, so there was a lot going on in my life at the time. I was just kind of unplugging from society for a bit.
And you're right, Sarah. The drunk Serbians on the podium was absolute cinema. If you go back and watch the documentary talking about the Olympic basketball tournament, the Serbians were fantastic. They were fun to watch. As Nikola Jokic and Bogdan Bogdanovic leading the charge for them. Yeah, they were absolute cinema. The Philadelphia 76ers and the Mavericks will play in the final time of the season against each other as the Mavericks look to split the season series against Philly today. Of course, Philly won the matchup back on February 4th, 118-116. Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey combining for 62 points that day. Kyrie Irving had 34 points in the losing effort. Dallas is just 4-6 in their last 10 matchups against the Sixers coming into today's game. Two teams that look very different from the last time these two teams played each other. Guys like Daniel Gafford, Kyrie Irving were on the floor for the Dallas Mavericks, and we detailed a little bit earlier how Joel Embiid is no longer available. He, along with several Philadelphia 76ers today, not going to be playing in today's matchup as the Mavericks look to break their 2-game losing streak. Coming up here on the Dallas Mavs pregame show, we'll be joined by our Mavericks beat writer Tim Cato live from the American Airlines Center. We'll have our injury report for the Mavericks and the Sixers, plus our Mavericks player spotlight focusing on the return of P.J. Washington Jr. for your Dallas Mavericks. But before we get there, let's help you win some money today when it comes to Sleeper.
Sleeper, my pick of the day. It's all a bunch of Mavs legends. Quentin Grimes, I think he's going to be looking for revenge. I think Quentin Grimes will score at least 20 points. That's a former Mavs legend. Current Mavs legend, Max Christie, I think he's going to score at least 10 points. And then also former Mavs legend, of course, the first-round pick Dallas sent out in that trade for Rajon Rondo back in the day. I think Yabusele will score at least 10 points. In fact, I was maybe thinking a little more because he did bully the Mavs a little bit last time. But you know what? I'm playing it safe. It's Sunday. I'm trying to get back in the win column. And with Sleeper, the more you pick, the more you win. My multiplier on this one would be times 2.33. So a $5 pick would net me $11.65 in cold, hard cash. And coincidentally enough, the thing I'm about to go eat for lunch cost just a tick more than that. So, Bobby, if you win, lunch is on you.
Lunch would be on you. How about that?
Download Sleeper today. Use promo code DLSMavs. Play $5 to get $55 on any play. Or plays.
Plays, yeah, we want
You can use it all in one, or you can use it on $11 $5. You can use it on $55 $1. It doesn't matter what. Do what you want.
It doesn't have to be a new contest either.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
It's my money. I want to use it how I want to. We don't do free advertisement though. You know what commercial I'm referring to?
It's my money, and I need it now.
That's right. Remember that when that commercial swept like the entire country?
I do.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird.
I do. But my favorite theme song for an advertiser is one that you'll hear very soon again on this network.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
I'll tell you off mic.
Okay, because I have no idea what you're talking about. We do know who is and who's out today. Oh, by the way, if you're in the chat, if you would be so kind as to let me know if Caleb Martin's playing tonight, because the Mavericks have not let us know yet if Caleb Martin is officially going. I've been feverishly looking to see, is Caleb Martin playing today for the Dallas Mavericks?
Is he ducking Jeff Downton Jr.?
He doesn't want the smoke from Jeff Downton Jr. In fact, the Mavericks still have not put out their official injury report update for today's game, and we are less than half an hour away from game time. But as of right now, let's welcome in our Mavericks beat writer Tim Cato live from the American Airlines Center as the Mavericks get ready to take on the Sixers. Tim, what's going on?
Bobby, why are you in a gatekeeping mood this morning? You won't say where you're going to lunch. You won't say who the new advertisers are. Let the people know.
Well, first off,
reveal things.
I don't want to dox myself.
Bottled up.
I don't want to dox myself. All right, paparazzi is a real thing, Tim. Secondly, I've already seen proof. It is breakfast at the arena today. But one thing that you didn't mention that they had before, and I'm curious if this is a new addition to the rotation, because there have been a lot of daytime games at the arena lately. Are the waffles new?
They are new.
Are they good?
I've not tried them.
Oh, dude, I love waffles.
Well, you
By the
won't
way,
love
Caleb Martin out.
Yeah. I was just about to say, there it is. As of 14, thank you, Sarah. As of 14 seconds ago, Caleb Martin is officially out for today's game. Which
is it an
means,
8-man Mav squad?
Which means, I think so.
Let's go.
That means Anthony Davis, Dante Exum, Daniel Gafford, Jaden Hardy, Kyrie Irving, Kai Jones. He is also out with the left quad strain. Derek Lively II, Caleb Martin, Olivier Maxis Prosper are all out today for the Mavericks.
8 versus 8.
Which means
8 versus 8.
Brandon Williams is available and PJ Washington is available. So
that's 7 players, right?
That's 7, actually. Now that I do the math correctly, run it down. Let's run it down.
The Mavs only have 7 players?
Klay Thompson.
Correct.
Brandon Williams. Kessler Edwards. Najee Marshall. Spencer Dinwiddie. Who's Dwight Powell. PJ Washington. That's 7. That is 7 available players today for the Dallas Mavericks.
Can we go home? Forfeit?
We're about to see history today.
All right, wait a minute. Who's dressing?
Wait.
Who's dressing? Is it going to be Caleb Martin?
All of them. Oh, because you have to have 8.
You have to dress 8.
Yeah. So I guess that would mean.
Who's in uniform, Tim?
Did you see who was in uniform?
Put in your call.
I did not know, but I will let you guys know. I will run to the court right now.
They should do Kyrie. They should put Kyrie in uniform.
So the Mavericks have 7 players available to play.
Not you just
today.
reading off your tweet as you're
right.
typing.
That's right. Because that was going to be the best way I could do it. So there you go.
I think by Wednesday, it's looking like Dallas is going to get some players back. Jaden Hardy has the infamous, he's doubtful.
He was doubtful.
For this game. Ruled out, not playing. But doubtful indicates a near return. Kai Jones has been questionable. Caleb Martin has a game time decision. It does seem like the worst case scenario, or at least as Dallas very
8.
quickly approaches these two-way contracts running out.
Okay, wait.
What are you looking at?
Christian Clark says they have 8 available.
Yeah, because they only had 9 guys out.
They only had 9 guys out, so it's 8.
Max Christie.
Max Christie. We missed Max Christie. That's what we missed.
8 versus 8.
8 versus 8. 8 versus 8.
I misread it. I
I
tallied up the number of players just tweeted out by Mavs PR, and I didn't realize that they said Brandon Williams available. He was not included in the 8 players. 8 players.
8 players available today.
Dude, let's do it. Come on. This is so cool. They should just let all 8 guys from both teams onto the court at once.
That's crazy. So
Like
the Mavericks
mosh pit style?
Okay.
This is actually like, I don't want to be a buzzkill and bring it down, but like this is really
This is depressing.
Yeah, this sucks,
is
man.
crazy.
Like there are people that are paying money to watch this, and it just obviously everything is new with the new CBA. All of the apron stipulations and a lot of the mechanics of the way that you have to build a team are different now. There are always going to be unintended consequences of rules. We are seeing it right now as Mavs fans and Mavs observers and people that hang out on Mavs shows. This is a everyone loses situation, and it's just a real shame. Like it's better to smile through the tears, but like no one should have to watch this. This sucks.
Yeah, I wonder which direction this is going to go. Are teams going to act with more caution and be very, very fearful of getting that close to whatever apron they're capped out at, just to have the flexibility of a possibility like this happening? I think the answer to that is no. The teams will make the moves and they will operate under the assumption of, a situation like this not happening. And I do think that a situation like this is very unlikely to happen in general. So I don't think GMs are going to, I don't think GMs are looking at this situation and thinking, we're going to change how we operate based off this. I don't think the league, I wonder if the league is going to put in, not this season, but at some point in the future, whether they're going to, think about some contingency for a situation like this happening again, based off the strictness of being up against the first apron or the second apron or, but I really think this situation probably is not getting, nothing about it is going to be solved right now. And it's just so funny that Anthony Davis may come back just because Dallas literally has no other answer. The funniest scenario, some like dark humor wise, but it's just, what a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a complete and utter mess right now. Almost as messy as the Philadelphia 76ers injury report, because that is a train wreck in and of itself. Shout out to the Sixers who have Aiden Bona. He's out with a left ankle sprain. Andre Drummond, he's out. Joel Embiid, Paul George, Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry, Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, Kelly Oubre Jr., and Lonnie Walker IV. He is out with a concussion.
Miss Jared McCain.
I'm sorry?
I miss watching Jared McCain.
Yeah, he was fun. He was on his way to potentially being the Rookie of the Year in the NBA.
Good player.
The way he was playing for Philadelphia. But, of course, he has been lost to the season for quite some time with the torn left meniscus that he is dealing with. Someone who will actually be on the floor today for your Dallas Mavericks. It is the return of P.J. Washington Jr. today after missing the last 6 straight games with a right ankle sprain, missing 14 of the last 19 overall due to the ankle sprain. 47 games this year. P.J. Washington averaging 14 points per game, a career high 8.1 rebounds per contest, and shooting over 37% for three. That's his best mark since his sophomore season in the association. Tim, the Mavericks have desperately missed Washington's Swiss Army knife abilities. He will be on the floor. Is he? Okay, question. Is he the best player on the floor between these two teams today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know what PJ stands for, right?
What?
Philadelphia just give up.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
That's doing some heavy lifting.
That's tough. Yeah.
That's wild. How long did it take you to come up with that one?
I wish I had thought about it a little bit more. I probably could have come up with a better delivery. About 2 seconds.
It's all right.
Charlie Saturday says, at least your guys are actually hurt. Ooh, taking a shot at Philadelphia where he says Philly's tank is shameful.
No, they're blatantly trying to keep their pick,
trying to lose games, for sure.
which is exactly why you shouldn't trade them their pick back. Like,
how about that concept?
who could have seen this coming ever? This is such a surprise. Tim, is PJ going to be on like any sort of restriction or anything minutes wise?
It seems like he's ready to go. Obviously, a lot of him coming back today rather than Friday was just the situation where Dallas couldn't, realistically wasn't going to have him play both games because of the noon start, because of when this was situated. He's been ready to go, and now he's ready to go. So, I mean, how can you have a minutes restriction when there's 8 guys available?
I mean, they already tried that, and that
right.
One of those guys is not out, and the other one is out.
In fact, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington will be in the starting lineup. Your starters today: Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Kessler Edwards, Brandon Marshall. Oh my gosh, Najee Marshall. I got football in the brain. Najee Marshall, Brandon Williams. I got Brandon.
Linebacker or receiver, Brandon Marshall?
I think the receiver was better than the linebacker for sure.
Which two players on the Dallas roster would you combine? I don't think Brandon Williams and Najee Marshall is a combination that makes sense. But if you could combine 2 players into one,
yeah, RJ Marshington. We already did this.
We've done that already. RJ Marshington,
the legend.
That's right. But yes, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Kessler Edwards, Najee Marshall, and Brandon Williams in the starting lineup. The Philadelphia 76ers, check this out. Ricky Council, is he the fourth? Ricky Council the fourth.
Brothers Ricky, and Ricky.
Gershon Yabusele, Quentin Grimes going to be in the starting lineup for the Sixers. I believe that's Jared Butler and another dude named Edwards.
James Edwards. He had a big game whenever the Mavs lost in Philly a month ago or whenever that was. He can shoot a little bit.
Shout out to James Edwards.
A lot of wings. There's not a lot of size on the floor for either team tonight. If you're wanting the Mavs, Justin Edwards. Sorry,
Justin Edwards.
What did I say?
James
Edwards.
Good beat writer.
He played in the NBA a long time ago, I think. Yeah,
that's a New York Knicks beat writer for the Athletic.
Yes. I spend too much time on Twitter. Justin Edwards, sorry. Man, we're really not ball knowers right now.
No. Based on the Sixers, who they have, what should you be? Should we be?
They're 3-17 in their last 20. The process is alive and well.
That's right.
If you want the Mavs to win, then you should be worried about the Mavs' lack of size. Yabu is the kind of guy that can punish you. Mm-hmm. He can also shoot a little bit, but he can be very active, very physical around the rim. So Kessler and PJ are going to have their hands full. But that is kind of other than Grimes, maybe. But other than Grimes going, as I just used the wrong name for one of their starters.
That's right. It's okay.
But other than Grimes going nuclear, I think that Yabu having a big game is really the only way the Sixers can get above like maybe 100 or 110. And both of those things are possible. Yabu and Grimes both going off.
Run that sentence back. If Gershon Yabusele has a big game,
he or Grimes are the key. Well, what did he had like 20 and 10?
No, I'm laughing because the fact that we're pinning the Sixers' hopes on Gershon Yabusele having a big
player,
game.
Man.
He's a good player.
Like, Tim and I were talking. I don't want to, I was telling Tim. I don't want to say what Tim's opinion is, but I was telling Tim that the Mavs should go get Yabu at the trade deadline before things got bad and before they traded Luka and whenever. Like I still thought that they had a team and stuff. I was like, man, a guy like that would be great around here. So I was plotting and asking Mark Stein, are they shopping him? Are they shopping him? And he's still there, so I guess not.
No.
But let's give him that pick for Caleb Martin instead.
You were locked into Yabu. I was locked into the idea of Ben Simmons for this team. Turns out they're going to start Brandon Williams on March 16th.
Let's go.
I'm excited for that, though. He's been playing well, and this looming decision, this possibility that Dallas is going to have to choose, that at the end of the year, it's possible that which two-way player they choose to sign is also an indication of which one is going to be potentially on the roster next year. Keep making that case, Brandon Williams. It's growing increasingly stronger.
Yeah, I think this starting five that the Mavs are rolling out, I mean, that starting five isn't making, I don't think, the playoffs over the course of an 82-game season or anything, but like this starting five is like smash mouth. They're going to play hard. Like Najee and PJ and Kessler Edwards, those guys are going to play hard. Brandon Williams can get where he wants. Klay can shoot if he gets hot. Like it's not a bad starting five compared to some of the ones that we've seen, lately for the Mavs.
I'll leave you guys with this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do think the best player on the court right now is PJ Washington, but is there a chance it's Quentin Grimes?
There's a chance that Quentin Grimes goes for about 35 today. Maybe on like
he may
25, 27 shots or something, but he might go for 35 today.
This is, by the way, I'm correct. This is starting lineup number 37.
Oh, Tim, so it's still alive. Your record for, was it 50 games? Is, I believe, still alive when it comes to starting lineups for the Mavericks.
If they have a different starting lineup every single game from here on out, they will finish with 51 starting lineups, which would be a new league record.
Come on.
Got to make some history.
They have only used, of their 37 starting lineups, including the one we're going to see today, they have only used 12 of them more than once.
Oh, so we got a good shot at this.
They've only used 8 of them more than twice.
Okay.
They've only used 4 of them more than 3 times.
So we got a good shot at this.
Kai Jones coming back to a different starting lineup helps a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can get 3 or 4. If he's back Wednesday, you can shuffle things 3 or 4 times and get 3 or 4 starting lineups. And then you might at that point need a new player coming in. But I have faith. I believe this team can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's within sight. It's within reach.
Not AD, though. Let's not do that. Tim, we appreciate you reporting live from the American Airlines. We'll talk to you postgame right here on the Dallas Mavericks postgame show.
See y'all.
Bye, Tim. Stay healthy.
Which is one of my X factors for today. Stay healthy. That's one of them. Stay healthy, survive, and get out of here by just having bodies available to play for your next game. But also, give the crowd something to cheer for today, because my gosh, it has been horrendous. Give the crowds a reason to be there for a noon start time for an NBA game today. And honestly, you get to watch PJ Washington try to lock up Quentin Grimes today. Is that the defensive matchup you're waiting to see today? PJ Washington versus Quentin Grimes? See if you can lock him down?
Yes.
There you go. Thank you. That's right.
Can't wait.
That's right. Can't wait. Can't wait. We'll be back here 15 minutes post-game right here on the Dlls Mavs post-game show. We'll be joined live by our Mavs beat writer Tim Cato and our national NBA insider Mark Stein as well. And we'll be announcing who our special guest will be for our show tomorrow on the Dallas Mavs podcast. Appreciate our guy Tanner making us look good and sound good as always. Appreciate you, sir. That's our Mavericks analyst Bobby Krell. I'm your host Kevin Gray. We are Dlls Mavs. We'll talk to you post game right here on DLLS Sports. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.